Hi everyone, welcome to Fine Wine of the Old World. Today I'd like to talk to you about this. So I don't know if you can see, but it is oranges on my t-shirt. And today I'd like to speak to you about the orange wine, which is not made of oranges. So let's get that straight right away. And so yes, I hope you do enjoy the video and I hope you drink responsibly. First of all, what is orange wine? So orange wine has also other names, which is amber wine, and I'm sure you can realize why it is called amber wine, or you can call it also the skin contact wine. The orange wine is made of the white grapes, which probably make you think, okay, why is it orange then? So the orange wine comes from the color that is on the skin, but also it comes from the seeds. So because of the lignin in the seeds, you get this beautiful, beautiful orange color. So that's our amber wine, and it is made similarly to the red wine, which means that the skins are not removed prior fermentation process. The longer maceration, the more structure in the wine. So imagine if you leave the grapes, but also the seeds and the stalks sometimes, you'll get more structure to the wine, more aromas, and also the color would be more intense. When I think of the orange wine, I always imagine Georgia. So as you probably remember from other video, that the Georgian wine it's roughly dated back to 6000 BC. So that's a lot of time. And you can definitely say that the orange wine is an ancient method of winemaking, and that was done in Pairings, which is the amphoras. So it's the vessel that is buried underground, and that is because during the fermentation, the coolness of the soil, of the earth, can keep the fermentation at the same temperature level, and for that reason as well, because it's buried underground, it means that despite the weather conditions going up and down, it's just maintained at the same level. As I mentioned, the orange wine technique is ancient, but unfortunately this method was not used throughout the centuries, and this method was then reintroduced, and then this is when the winemaking of the orange wine has started being very popular, and the modern day winemakers, they go back to Pairings. So I'm very happy about that, because we can now find orange wine made with this traditional method. Very often this is the natural wine, and that also means that very often not even the yeast are added, so everything is natural. A lot of winemakers now have one orange wine in their offer, so it is going slowly into the market, but I wish we were able to get the orange wine in the supermarkets. That would be fantastic, and I'm sure people would probably be a little bit skeptical, but hopefully there would be some people that would like to try it, and maybe after a few tries, maybe they would be able to say, oh yeah, I want to serve orange wine today. So hopefully, fingers crossed. We can find the orange wine mostly in Italy, and that is in the region that border with Slovenia, and it's called Friuli Venezia Giulia. And this is where you can find most of the orange wine, and you can even find the Pinot Grigio in the style of orange wine. Then in Slovenia, you get this region that borders with Italy. So again, we have these two countries bordering together and sharing the same areas that they manufacture the orange wine. And it's called Goriška Brda, and that region as well is specializing in orange wine making. We should never forget about Georgia. So in Georgia there is a wine region, Kakheti, And I've got one bottle for you for today. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to open it today. It's very special for me. And I opened another one, so when we go to the wine characteristics, I will show you what I got for today. But yes, so the Georgian winery will normally be called Marani. So remember, Marani is not the name, but Marani, it means the winery. So, and as you can see, it's made in Kakheti, and it actually is in the region in Tsinandali. The wine that I'm presenting is made of 100% Kisi, but you also have the most grapes that you can find in Kakheti region would be Rickettselli and Metsvane. Sorry for pronunciation, okay? I'm not Georgian, but yeah, one day I'll learn how to pronounce the grapes and the regions according to their native language, okay? So one day. Then the wine that I got for today, and we will assess the characteristics. If you already saw my Instagram, then you should know which wine I've prepared. But for the ones that haven't seen it, this is the wine, and it is from Winnica Turnau, which is a Polish orange wine. So when I opened it, I was quite surprised, like positively surprised, because it is such a great orange wine, even though it's not made in Italy or Slovenia or Georgia. Then let's assess our wine. So like you can see, it has an amazing orange color. So I think nobody can argue here. It is pure orange, okay? So if you can see my t-shirt and my glass, same thing. And so look, so we can see it's orange, and as I already mentioned, it's because of the skins, it's because of the seeds and sometimes stalks. And as I told you before, the longer it is macerated, the more color it can get. And the wine that I have today was macerated for 2 months, and then it was, I actually checked, it was matured in the acacia wood, which is very surprising. And then we can smell. And before I actually go to the smell, I wanted to tell you, because it's natural wine, you very often would find it unfiltered. So don't get surprised that it's not going to be see-through, it's not going to be clear. There is nothing wrong with that. And then when it comes to smell, so I actually opened it last Friday. So it's been 2 days. And when I opened it, I was quite surprised because it had this honey, caramel, and also the brown sugar, some bruised apples. No, it was really fantastic. And oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good that you can just smell it and you're just so satisfied. Anyway, yeah, so that's normally about the smell. You can also find some nutty smell. Also, the winemaker here says that there is some black tea in it. So yeah, I think they're right. So just to summarize, caramel, burnt sugar, right? And then we get the apples, the bruised apples, sometimes dried fruit. You get also these sourdough aromas, so the yeasty aromas, and yeah, it's very, very interesting. And then we will assess the taste. So I love this, that it is white grapes, but then you get the tannins. And firstly, what I could taste was that even though my nose told me that this is the sweet wine, it actually isn't. So it's definitely a dry wine. Then acidity, quite high. And then the tannins, I would say medium tannins. It's not overwhelming, but yeah, it's still quite light, I would say. But definitely you can yeah, taste some tannins. You can definitely have this impression of roughness on your tongue, as I always say. I must say, a lot of my friends or even my husband, when they tasted orange wine for the first time, they were like, But to be honest, I'm a big fan of the orange wine, and I definitely have it sometimes. I would say this is not the wine that you would sip on during the day, but it's very good to pair it with food. And if you check my Instagram, you can see what I had it with. So it's just an idea. Anyway, it also goes well with the obviously Georgian food because it's Georgian wine, and that goes really well with the cookies that are with honey. And also I had a look through the Georgian dishes, and they use a lot of walnuts, so definitely those walnutty dishes would be perfect with the nuttiness of this wine. This wine goes really well as well with the lamb, curry, and also the matured cheese. The last thing that I want to talk is about the aging. So when it comes to the orange wine, you can definitely age it for a couple of years. I would say 5 years would be probably optimum, and it's because of the tannins. So definitely can stay longer than usual white wines. And because my wine as well has quite a bit of acidity, it can definitely be kept for a bit longer. Although I would always suggest, if you buy wine, just drink it. Don't be me. Don't keep the Georgian wine for too long and just drink it, just enjoy it. And yeah, I hope you did enjoy the video, and I hope you learned something new with me today. And I wish you a great day, great evening, and a great Georgian or Polish orange wine in the glass. Bye.